co-host Handy Killcam along with my other co-host.
OG Krug stuff.
And today is episode 46 of the OG podcast. Correction, podcast. I say this to emphasize to OG because I watched his video the other day and he said Tubecast. Although the stuff does say Tubecast, we are officially a podcast now, so we're a podcast. So
Okay, that'll work.
yeah. So I'm gonna go right into it and ask OG, how was your week?
It was okay. Nothing too ridiculous, but a good week. I did the role playing thing on Saturday. That was really cool. And then, of course, I've been going hard on some Final Fantasy and,
My new
a little
crack.
bit of
Go
your
ahead.
new crack, and you're welcome. Um, it appears that they've actually finally listened to me because now they have this event where you attack this like candy corn flan or whatever, and you get all kinds of ridiculous items, which is great. So if you haven't been doing that, basically coordinate with your guild to see if y'all can find it, post the locations, and just start running amok on it. Because every time you attack it, you get something really, really good, like a ton of resources or some, just good like boosts and stuff. It's really, really awesome. They're finally doing things that actually give people stuff as opposed to you having to spend 99.99. So I'm liking
That's
it. They're
cool.
finally listening to me.
That's cool.
Um,
That's cool. I would tell my guild this right now, but apparently like all the high members keep getting attacked, like, and they're running out of bubbles, and so they're kind of screwed right now, and they're freaking out,
mm,
and that's why I will never move into a hive. Um, I mean I understand the point of the hive, but I'd rather be 20 minutes out, 40 minutes out, than right next door. I don't know.
right.
I don't like that strategy. Not only that, but it looks ugly, in my opinion. I don't like it. It doesn't look right.
the
Um,
the main good thing about it is just being able to gift things to people as far as like resources. So if I need like a million or something, you can just give it to me instead of having to be across the map where you might not be able to.
yeah. McPat, thank you for that auto host. But definitely, I understand it, but I won't be moving next door. I won't be moving.
I don't blame you.
I like where I'm at right now. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead when you were talking about the candy corn thing.
Oh
Sorry.
no. But yeah, no, basically they've more or less done it to where, they're giving you some freebies for doing some simple things now, which is great because that was the one thing this game was kind of lacking was really, really good freebies. Like you get freebies in general, but it's kind of one of those things where they're minor things that's not really a big deal.
Uh huh.
But what they're doing right now with this event is they're finally actually giving people things that's worth something. So instead of you having to spend $100 to get a bunch of good stuff, you can do small things like attack or do things and build stuff, and all of a sudden you get good rewards. So I hope they keep this up. I think part of it too is now we're in a holiday season, so you're gonna start probably see this in a lot of games where they're gonna be giving out lots of freebies. So this is like the perfect time
Yeah.
to start playing any game right now because they're gonna be giving you lots of free up until about the end of December.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the game's been giving me like a whole bunch of crap. Like I have like 4 or 5 VIP modes or VIP day things, so I've been using that up. Um,
Actually, that's the one thing I have to admit that the game has been good about is giving out VIP rewards because that is one thing they do give out to me maybe once in a month at the very least, sometimes more. And I actually like that because when you activate it, you get all kinds of boosts depending on what your VIP level is, and it just helps you do stuff much faster. So I
yeah,
like it.
definitely. And not only that, but you can easily buy VIP mode for free without even putting the money into the game. For those that don't know, all you have to do is just participate with your guild and then do like help them build stuff.
Like if you help them build stuff and you attack other monsters, you get loyalty, and you
Yeah,
use loyalty to buy the
right. And
VIP.
then you do
Yeah,
the guild quest also. Like
yeah,
I
go quest
I
as well.
do I freaking I do all my quests as much as possible,
Hmm.
and
Oh
that's
yeah.
I do that and I attack monsters. Um, I I also attack other people, but I mean I do well. I win. I have a 4 almost a 5.0 KD as far as attacking bases, But weirdly enough, if there's nobody there, I don't get the resources, so it's kind of pointless. Um,
That's right.
and then when I do fight somebody and I win, somehow my people end up wounded, and none of their people are wounded or dead, but somehow I still win. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna need a screenshot of that because
I've,
that's never happened to me. Yeah.
that's happened to me 7 times already. Um, pretty much almost all my wins have been that way, except for the one
Mm.
that was like nobody there. And because I was like, "Ooh, I get free resources." Nope, you don't get resources if nobody's there. You have to actually fight to get, which is good. I mean, in a sense, but
Well, no, you can still get resources. They just have to have their base built up a certain way, to where they have extra resources.
well,
So right now you're probably attacking some lower level people, so they may have it to where they, because you can protect some of the resources that would get taken to where they can't take anything.
right.
So you might not be hitting the right person, I think is what it is.
Well, they were like a level 10 or a level 10 or a level 9, and I scouted them, and they had like no warriors and no nothing, and then like they had it said how much resources they had, and so I was like, ooh, I'm gonna go steal this stuff, and yeah, it just didn't give me nothing. I was like, well,
That's weird.
that's a
Hmm.
waste. That was a waste. Maybe
Yep.
they might have buffed some stuff. They might have changed some stuff. There might have been an update that we just don't know about or something.
Hmm.
Because there are people hacking the game. Um, a
Obviously.
lot of people are hacking the game, and apparently it's like really easy to hack. I found out this morning on accident. Looking at videos of, yo, what's up, Fire Team? My newest sub, Fire Team in the house. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. What is up? What's going on with you? How is your day? How is your morning? Hopefully school is good to you today. Hacking. What? What game? Final Fantasy 15 Age of a New Empire. It's a mobile game. I blame OG. OG's got me hooked on a mobile game right now. Of course, I still play my other games, but they got me hooked on my mobile game. Yo, thank you so much for that host. I don't know why my notifications are not working, but thank you so much for that host. Stream Elements must be down. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's been doing that, but it's been doing that for some reason. So I don't know.
Oh, and then answer one more question because you were asking why you haven't been able to capture a hero, and I've actually just remembered why. You have to be at least your actual base citadel has to be level 15 in order for you to capture heroes,
Yeah,
and you can only capture heroes of people that are level 15 or higher.
I just found that out too. I was kind of sad.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
just forgot
lame,
about that.
lame, but I mean it's understandable.
Yeah, they don't want to get the newer players discouraged from playing the game, so they actually want you to, build up. But it kind of makes sense, so
I
I get it.
I actually have an idea. I'm actually gonna capture other people's heroes, and I'm gonna change their name and put my brand on their heroes, so they
There
know.
you go.
So they be like, "Oh dang, HK just took my hero." Yep.
There you
And then
go.
when they get them back, it's forever branded until they cough up their guild points to change the name,
Yep.
so they know who I am.
Right.
So they don't mess with me. It's crazy. I got over freaking 8 million apples.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
So go ahead and finish how your week was. Sorry, we got sidetracked into
Well,
the game.
no, we're good. And honestly, other than that, I've been picking up a lot of overtime. Basically, I'm starting to work 12-hour shifts right now, just to try to catch up. So, got my little, grind on as far as work's concerned, and that's more or less it.
That's cool. That's cool, man. Well, my week has been crazy. As always, I never have a dull week.
Mm-mm.
We'll start with the fun stuff. So, okay, so my wife's car that she's got from Toyota is still under warranty. Because my wife doesn't drive it a lot. She has like a mile warranty where it's like 300 something thousand miles or something. And well, apparently the battery went bad in it. And
Mm.
so she went to the dealership to go get a new battery for free. She didn't have to pay nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk her into getting another vehicle or a different vehicle. But
Uh-oh.
it's actually gonna make our payments cheaper but newer. But my wife couldn't decide on it, so they let her keep it for 10 days and gave her a full tank of gas, which is really
Hmm.
cool to see if she really likes the vehicle. And then
Mm-hmm.
they even told her, yeah, I think yesterday or today, that even if she even got a 2018, that the bank would even work with her even more because it's a newer vehicle, and her payments would
Mm-hmm.
even be even cheaper. So we may be getting a
Mm.
2018. Now, granted, we don't need a new vehicle, but I look at it like this: my wife works hard, and if she wants to drive, or have a nicer vehicle, or want a nicer vehicle, and it's cheaper, why not? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The car that we're in now, the new one that we're in for 10 days, our insurance is only gonna go up $1 more, so that's not a big deal. So,
Nice.
yeah, so we put all those factors in to that situation, but that's that. And then I have officially left Olympus Esports. Um, I have decided
Officially.
officially. I've gave my resignation. I wrote my little letter. I gave my little speech. Of course, I was nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just said I just wanted to, open the door for new opportunities. But quite frankly, if I'm going to be honest, you can't expect me to sign a contract when I see you guys mess somebody else over on another contract. You can't expect me
Mm.
to sign a contract. Um, I could go fully fledged into what happened. Basically, what happened is this event, DreamHack, Halo DreamHack in Denver, has been going on for, well, it was planned for months. Everybody knew about it. Everybody in Olympus knew about it. All the big ups knew about it, and they told the Halo team, "Hey, we want you guys at this event. We're gonna pay for it. We got the rooms. We got everything. We're gonna pay for it." So, mind you, weeks come like down to the wire, and they're messaging the people, "Hey, what's going on? Where we need our information so we know where to stay and our flight and all this stuff. I got my sister, and all this getting picking me up, all this stuff. Let me know."
Mm-hmm.
Well, nothing. They got no response, and then they were like, "Well, sorry, I've just been busy with life stuff." And then I think like a couple of days before the event, like they were just like, "Oh, we're dropping you guys from the team, or we're dropping the whole Halo team."
Wow.
Yeah. So, uh, in my opinion, that was very unprofessional. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, if you're not gonna, if you're not able to take somebody, or if you're not able to keep your end of the promise, because I don't know if it was in the contract or not, um, then you should let somebody know, like further in advance, so they can make their own arrangements to
Mm-hmm.
show up for the tournament. Because yeah, I mean, even if your team, even if your organization is not able to pay for the actual trip, they might have been able to do it themselves if you would have gave them time, and they still could have represented the organization, and they could have still done good with the organization. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
still won the tournament, and still got money. But not only did you when you did that at the last minute, you screwed yourself twice, because you screwed yourself into, one, having a good team, two, or three times you screwed yourself having a good team. Two, you screwed yourself and not showing up at an esports tournament that you signed up
Mm-hmm.
for. That gives you a bad image. That gives you a bad rep. That gives you a bad look as an organization. Three, you totally put a bad taste in people's mouths as the esports players. Like, you just let them just oh, you're just not gonna go to the tournament. And when they've been training this whole time, we're talking months. You know what I mean? Or
Mm-hmm.
weeks. And so I just feel like it was bad business. And I was like, in my perspective, even though they don't pay me, and I wasn't paying them in the contract that I was going to be signing, possibly, I was like, well, if they could do that to them, what could they do to me? So
Right. What's stopping them from messing you up?
yeah, what's stopping them from messing me up? So, you know, and the bad thing is before they even released their press release, the esports team that got released, all the people, all the individuals had all their evidence and released it all on Twitter, so everybody could see how like unprofessional that they handled the situation. So, you know what I mean? So I was like, well, damn. Well, you know, my name's all over that. You know, even though I'm not on the esports team, I'm on the main team of the stream team. And I was like, I'm not like that. I have integrity. You know, I have a reputation to keep as my integrity. I'm a good person, and I don't want somebody to think that if they come into my stream that I'm the same way, or that I have anything to do with that, or am I anywhere attached to that. So I decided to part ways, and I think I made a good decision. And the way I know is yesterday was my first stream without being tied to Olympus, and I had over 21 viewers, a new sub, and all kinds of stuff. So it went well. It went really, really well. Stream went really well. Ironically enough, the day before that, I sold my first hoodie. The first Handy Kill Cam hoodie has been sold. Ironically enough,
handy hoodie.
Yes, the Handy hoodie. The Handy hoodwear. The Handy hoodwear.
Nice.
Ironically enough, CBNX, the old organization that I used to be with, like when I first started off with, they still have my merchandise on their site. And how this came about is me and Ghost was in the room, and we were talking, and we were talking about another member in CBNX, and he was like, yeah, you know, we still have his merchandise on the site, and we still have your merchandise on the site. And I was like, oh yeah. And then somebody like read that in chat, and they're like, wait, you have merchandise? And I was like, well, technically yes, it's under the CBNX site, and it's, you know, from the UK, so you have to pay a little bit extra, but yes, I have merchandise. And that person went and bought a hoodie. So
wow,
yeah,
that's legit.
So then people are telling me that I need to promote that site more, because there's a lot of people that are interested in buying my merchandise. So I'm gonna do that, I guess. And CBNX has agreed to give me the money, even though technically I'm not a part of CBNX. So yeah, so shout outs to CBNX, shout outs to, you know, all that, because that's how you do business. You see, when I parted ways from CBNX, I didn't burn a bridge. You know, right. I didn't burn a bridge. I did it on good terms. I did it professionally, to the point to where CBNX has also opened their doors again since I've left Olympus. They said if I want to come back, I'm more than welcome to come back. No questions asked. So it's pretty cool. Things are looking up. Things are looking good. And then I've also got hit with another business opportunity to do some certain things that I can't discuss on, but I don't know if I'm going to take that. Just because right now it's a lot of paper idea. It's nothing that I physically see in motion. You know, everything looks good on paper, but I gotta see it. You know, because things on paper and things actually working are two different things. So
absolutely,
you know. So I gotta see that, and then, what's the next craziest thing on my agenda, on my crazy week, man? Told you about the car. Told you about my wife started her new job this week. Well,
nice.
Not new job, pretty much same job, but different company.
New company.
Yeah, new company. It's a little difficult for her. It's not difficult like the job's difficult. It's just difficult because it's not the same company, and they were a smaller company, and now they're turning into a corporation, like how the other company was. So it's a big transition. So it's like everybody's crazy, and like my wife's just having to handle it all.
Yeah.
So
and it can be a lot.
Yeah, it's way overwhelming. It's kind of overwhelming at sometimes. Like she almost quit already, and I was like,
oh wow.
And I was like, babe, don't do it. I was like, you were made for this. This is who you are. I was like, you went through all this. And I was like, you got this. And I was like, we both knew the transition was gonna be hard, but you can do this. You know what I mean? You can do this.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I was like, don't give in to your emotions because you could be missing on a good opportunity. I was like, this company could, you can mold this to be a great corporatization because you know the ins and outs, you know the goods and you know the bads, and you know what works and you don't know, and you know what doesn't work. So I was like, they need you. You know what I mean? So just ride it out. You know what I mean? Um,
Right.
with every good storm comes growth. You know, so just ride it out and see what happens. I was like, give it a good month. You know what I mean? And see what happens.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's just been pretty much my crazy week, man. Pretty much, and then I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy, Age of a New Empire, and Fortnite, and then creating wrestlers on WWE 2K18. That's pretty much it. I've created 3 out of 16 wrestlers, so we getting up
Okay.
there. We getting up there.
Yeah. Slowly but surely you'll get there.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be creating 3 or 4 of them today, or maybe 2 of them today. So
Okay.
after the podcast, but
That works.
other than that, why don't you hit us with a little bit of knowledge, sir, of your whatever you got.
Sure. Well, first off, I got to give a shout out to my woman because there are some times where a lot of, I'll come up with a subject because of her. Because sometimes when I come home from work, she'll be like, hey, babe, check this out. And so I'll look at something and I'll be like, huh, I could probably talk about that. And that was kind of how it started, to be honest. It originally started with a top 10 list. Apparently, there's a channel that does basically a bunch of top 10 stuff, and they did a top 10 as far as the worst pay to play games or pay to win games, whatever it is. Now, this was done 4 months ago, and the reason that I say it like that is because Fantasy game was on there, but it was actually a different Final Fantasy game that was on there, and I didn't know. I was like, I wonder why, and then I realized because of how long ago. Because the game that we're playing is only about 3 months old, and the video is like 4 months old. So this was before the new Final Fantasy game. But what was interesting to me is one, Candy Crush was on my list, which I thought was a little weird.
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
because well, I mean, it is a game that was very popular at one time, and I'm sure people still play it. But there are just times where some people just have a hard time getting past a certain level, and
I know
it
somebody.
almost feels like,
I know somebody. I don't mean to cut you off, but I know somebody that spent $300 on that game.
let's see, there you go. Like surprisingly enough, like people do drop money, like big money on Candy Crush, which is nuts.
Yeah,
So
yeah, because
you
that
know,
game is just not. I don't know. That game doesn't fulfill my fancy.
I mean, honestly, Candy Crush is one of those games that I like because I like puzzle games,
Right.
but I never really felt really the want to spend money. Like it
Right.
was always I missed a turn, well, I'll just start over. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And usually, like, I'll get stuck for about a day or two, and then I'll beat it and move on to the next level. Once you're like in the triple digits, it does get pretty difficult. Well, either way, I wasn't a fan of their top 10 list personally because it didn't seem to have much structure. Because I was under the impression that this was like, a top 10 list as far as games that, get you to the point to where you have to spend money. But a lot of the games on there were games where it was more of an option, not a must.
Right.
And I don't know, I just didn't think it was that clear. So we did a little more looking, and she showed me another video, and this is really what I want to kind of get into. I don't know if you've ever heard of this game. I'm going to look for the title of it real quick because I'd never heard of it, and apparently it's a big deal. Have you ever heard of Entropia Universe?
It sounds familiar.
Entropia Universe. Yeah, basically, this is a game that is actually kind of old, believe it or not. I want to say it was done like in the 90s is when
Really?
it started.
And this is an app.
And no, it's an actual it's a PC game, which is
Okay.
probably why you haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I probably never heard of it too.
Yeah.
But apparently, this game in particular is probably the most money hungry game in history, and I'll explain why. So, in this game, it's basically you're living a real life but in digital form. And when I say a real life,
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah. I
about,
have heard about this game. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, you can actually sell property, and you can spend like thousands. Some people have actually spent millions of dollars on buying buildings or buying land and all kinds of stuff, like legit money. People actually spend high dollar money to play, to have stuff in this game.
Right.
And it's nothing really that special either. I mean, it's not like World of Warcraft where you're killing monsters and things like that. It to me it just looks like a sim where you
Yeah.
just kind of walk around and do stuff and talk to people. But for some reason, people actually spend and make money off the game. It's really ridiculous.
It's really
I
weird, but I mean, if you can make money off of it, why not? I guess.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is.
No,
You know,
I'm not talking about the developers. I'm talking about like if I go into a game and I'm able to make a virtual market and make money, why not?
mhm.
Because I could see the pool. I could see because you got I like right when you were talking about it, I was started thinking about because their HBO actually did a special on this game, right? And it was this guy who's paralyzed and like he can't really move, he can't do nothing, like he can't experience life, but he experiences life through Utopia or whatever that game's called. And
Okay.
like and that's his life. That's he's even got a virtual girlfriend. They have virtual relations, and like they're gonna get married and all this stuff. It's very weird, but if that like I'm like this, I'm like, well, if that's the way he can experience life and that gives him life, why not? If that makes him happy, why not? And so I can see, but it's to us it's ridiculous because we can experience life in a real format, but some people just can't. Some people, some people may not be able to talk. Some people may just be trapped inside their bodies, and Utopia or a game like that may be the only way they can like be like release themselves in a sense, if that makes any sense.
Right. No, I see what you're saying, and it's really interesting too, because I looked at it, and and it's not like a game where necessarily you have to spend money as far as like to do things, but it's one of those games where if you're smart, you can make a lot of money because there are people willing to spend top dollar on certain pieces of property, basically charging rent. You can have your own clubs where you can like be in like in a dance club and things like that. I mean, it's literally like a real world, except for it's in a game. I mean, you basically have a
That's
job, I guess.
that's where I would see if people would get into this and people would tap in right. This is where VR would thrive. Um,
Yeah, that
that's
actually makes sense. That would be a good angle for VR,
you
And
know,
who knows, maybe they're working on something like that. I mean, I didn't really go too deep into the game itself.
right.
But I mean, that is definitely an interesting angle. I'm glad you actually brought that up. I mean, that's definitely something that maybe they should venture into.
Yeah,
Maybe that would, one, make the VR companies more money, and two, that would give people like the person you mentioned who has you can't really do much outside in life. They could actually physically, or not maybe not physically, but they can actually see things as if they were there.
right,
So that
exactly.
would be a really good enhancement.
And
You know?
not only that, but it would give the game more exposure, and it would give VR a more staple in the gaming industry because right now, it's like we talked about before, it's just a fad. But
Mhm.
it would make VR more serious, and more people would probably get into that game, and more people would probably want to do VR because of that.
Right.
I'm really surprised Sims like the actual Sims, the Sims game
Mhm.
hasn't stepped into the ER scene. Like there's so many good VR ideas or so many good VR games that are not VR, and you have all these games that are stupid that are VR, and this is why VR is not a thing, well, not a mainstream thing, or not a necessary thing, because it's VR is backed by the wrong games. No, I don't want to be Batman. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't want to play VR Batman. I don't want to play VR racing. I want to do something that puts me in a whole nother world to where I don't have to be in this world sometimes. I can go escape. And I'm not saying this as me. I'm saying this as a consumer. You know, that's what most people want. They want to escape reality. It's the whole reason why people play video games. It's for the escape. So if you're not giving them a good place to escape to, they're not gonna play it. As far as VR goes. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's a good perspective you're coming through, because I mean when you can see the other person's point of view, I think that's a good business strategy, because then you can base your business, off of that. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
being able to cater to that audience. But you
Ironically,
are right though
well,
about the whole. You know how you said that there are a lot of games out there that shouldn't be VR that are, and a
yeah.
lot of the games that could be VR are not. I'm thinking that maybe they're just scared of the idea. The ones that are not doing it, maybe they just seems too intimidating, but they don't really see the potential.
Yeah, and and that's probably it. But I mean, if you think about it, it would be a way. I mean, since we're going into microtransactions, I mean the world of microtransactions, because from these stories that I'm coming with today, microtransactions is not going away, and
Nope.
microtransactions are gonna get a little scarier. It could be. It would be a way to, hey, for this VR experience, for 5 hours of VR experience, you got to pay so much. I could see that. I could see VR. I could see VR cafes. You know what I mean? With something like the game that you're talking about. You know what I
Right.
mean? To where, okay, you're gonna go play Utopia for 5 hours, you got to drop $200 or $100. And if you make the game
Right.
good enough to where you're emerging into another atmosphere or another environment, you're golden.
hmm
You're golden. And you give
That
other
could be a gold mine idea. That's
and
money making right
and you
there.
get and you give them the opportunity to not only make money, but like you make money into the game like you were talking about, and then turn it into real money. So basically the game's paying for itself and you're paying yourself to stay in the game. It
hmm
could be a huge addiction, but it's something that would feed itself and something. And I just came up with this idea. It's crazy,
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
crazy. Hit me up, VR companies. I got you. Let's go. I probably won't play
The
your game.
VR cafe.
VR cafe. Seriously though, that would do something like the game that you're talking about, or the game that
hmm
you're talking about, to where it makes its own economy, and then the economy
hmm
turns into real money. That's a gold mine. That's a gold
Yeah.
mine. But that's crazy. And the weird thing about it is HBO wasn't even like doing something like sympathetic about it. Of course, HBO's mostly about sex. If you don't know, late night HBO is sex. I'm just being real, keeping it real. And it was a late night series, and they were talking about how like, you know, people with disabilities, that can't, whatever, have a sex life, and it's through with that game that you were talking about. And I'm like, well, I have an actual sex life, but I guess if that's the way he can do it, then I mean, it is what it is. I mean, more power to him. You know,
Yeah.
it's
A
crazy.
little weird, but
A little
yeah.
weird, but hey, I mean, it is what it is, and not everybody can swim the same way you do. So it is what it
Yeah.
is. So, but that's how I found out about the game.
hmm
Crazy old
Wow.
HBO, but yeah, crazy HBO, but yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, since we're talking about games and transactions, I'm gonna talk about one thing that I was listening to before I even started the podcast, and apparently it's the reason why EA closed down that studio that we talked about last week. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready, OG? The
Oh yeah.
reason why they closed down the studio, and one of the EA guys that used to work at the company, when he got let go, he blew the whistle, and he said the reason why EA closed Visceral Studios is because they are pulling away from single player games. They no longer want to do single player games anymore. They want to just
Mm.
do multiplayer games or open world games that use, you know, the multiplayer aspect with microtransactions. Because and they made a good valid point. Without the microtransactions, well, I mean, they made a good point with the microtransactions from a business standpoint, and then they made a good point, you know, without the microtransactions. They said multiplayer games are the most replayable games. You know, they always on top. There's an endless replay value. You know,
Yeah.
you know, like you never like. You know, I can get up right now, and if I want to play Overwatch, I can play Overwatch. You know, I could play Overwatch until the servers are down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could play, you know, any multiplayer game that I have until the servers are down. And, you know, and that's the point that they're making, that the games last longer in the multiplayer genre than anywhere because, I mean, someone's always playing it if it's a good game. And they are also saying that multiplayer games are always on top. And they're saying people are just not into single player games anymore, and I see that. But then I think of somebody like you, who doesn't play online, who mostly just plays, you know, one player games and stuff like that. And then I'm like, you know, you still have those kind of people, you know, the older generation. But I guess EA is like saying, well, F you guys, we're gonna go do our thing. So I don't know. And then they were talking about, and I didn't know this, but in I think they were talking about Deep Space 3, where they added like the open world multiplayer aspect to it, and then they added microtransactions. Someone spent $1,500. One person spent $1,500 in microtransactions.
Oh yeah.
And they said this is why we can't go away from microtransactions. The guy says specifically, there's too much money to be made, and we would be a fool not to do it. And I gotta say, I mean, if you guys are gonna keep buying it, you know, in any microtransactions, if you guys are gonna keep making companies money, but then complain about microtransactions, the only way microtransactions are gonna stop is if you stop buying them. That's the only.
And we know darn well that people are not going to stop buying them.
No, they're not. I mean,
there are people that want to be number one. They want to have the best stuff. They want to be, you know, well known and have the best, you know, be on top. And in order to do that, you got to spend money. And especially if you're too lazy to grind or just don't want to do the grind in general.
Right.
I mean,
right.
It's easier to spend the money.
Right. Again, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I just want companies to use the money correctly. It's like tithing to a church, and then you tithe to the church, and then they don't use the money correctly. They go and just spend and put it on their own bills, or, you know, go out and buy a new car or whatever, and they don't put the money back into the church. All I ask is if we buy microtransactions, that the companies put the money back into the game. That's all I ask. Because I understand. Yeah. I get that. I totally get that. The game's got to thrive to survive. And the only way a game can thrive is with money. If you think that a game can survive with no money at all, well, guess what? It's eventually going to run out of online capabilities because somebody's got to pay the servers. Somebody's got to pay the electric bill. Somebody's got to pay something. Somebody's got to pay somebody. You want content? Somebody's got to pay that guy for the content. And like I said, a lot of people are just going to buy the game once. Very rarely do you see people buying games double. Yes, I do, but I'm a streamer. I'm almost obligated that I have to sometimes if I really like the game because I want to reach both audiences. And I understand a lot of people don't have both systems. But if I'm capable and I'm able, I do that. If I wasn't a streamer, would I buy both? No, I wouldn't because there's no need. But not everybody's going to buy a game 2 to 3 times, maybe 4 times. So the game has to thrive another way, and it's got to make money another way. So, I mean, I understand it. I just want them to put the money in the right place, in the good areas.
Right.
You know.
And another reason that people go towards these multiplayer games is kind of like you said, the whole, they know they're going to be infinitely making money. Whereas if you just make a single player game, you're basically hoping that X amount of millions of people buy this game in order for you to make money. And if a certain amount of people don't buy the game, you don't make the money. But when you're making an online game or a multiplayer game in general that encourages microtransactions, you're going to make money, even if you don't have like a lot of people spending money to get the game, like for freebies, like for playing the game for free. You know that there are going to be people that are constantly going to be buying equipment, buying items, whatever the case may be, to make sure they're up there, and that's almost a limitless amount of funds constantly coming towards this game. And some people might say, well, what about the whole thing of commercials? Why don't you just rely on commercials? What people don't understand is that commercials don't make you a lot of money.
No, they
It
really
really
don't. They
doesn't.
really don't.
I
You have
mean, if that was the case, people would still be doing more YouTube and not having to depend on what's the other thing that everyone's doing now?
um I know what you're talking about. It's like a donation here on Twitch, but
Yeah,
it's
it's a
called
donation thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And and let me specify something real quick, because I know OG doesn't know a lot about Twitch. Twitch, you can run commercials. I just choose not to. I think I can as affiliate, but I choose not to. Actually, that's one of the things that Twitch automatically gives you as a sub. When you sub to me, you automatically get an ad-free experience. But me, I automatically give you an ad-free experience for one reason. I don't know. I mean, if it's like really a good idea. For two, I don't even know how to run commercials on Twitch. So I know there's a command or a way to do it, but I don't know how to do it. I've thought about it, but it's not a big deal to me. It's really not. But exactly, they don't. You actually make them more money. The people that you're paying for the commercial, you're actually making them more money. Best example, Super Bowl, for instance. For a 30-second video on the Super Bowl, during the Super Bowl, you're paying somebody $10 million. $10 million to air your video for 30 seconds. And think about that. A lot of those videos, a lot of those commercials, you don't see one time in that football game. You see 3 or 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So each time they play that 30 seconds, that's like, oh, that's another 10 million. That's another 10 million. That's another 10 million. You're making them more money than you're making yourself. Granted, yeah, your commercial might be entertaining. You might be funny. You might be one of the funniest commercials during the Super Bowl. But have I bought anything from GoDaddy.com? Nope. Have I bought anything from anything Old Spice because of the commercial? Nope. I've been buying Old Spice since I was a teenager. So that's different. And I'm talking about the deodorant, not the what you call it, not the
other stuff,
not the aftershave, not the old man aftershave. I'm talking about the deodorant. So like, really, if you think about it, in my opinion, almost having a commercial at the Super Bowl is kind of a waste of money, in a sense, because you're not going to get the same money back that you put in. Yes, you're going to get yourself known. Yes, you're going to get yourself out there, but you're not going to get the return in your investment. And I'm always about getting the return in my investment. Even when I'm like with organizations, it's not about money. It's not about money, but it's still, am I getting back when I invest my time? Grandpa killed you. Chill on the old man. Chill on the old man comment, mister. What's up, Grandpa? You see, his sexy face is up, man. His sexy face is up. There's no donation bar, man. Not yet. Maybe soon. But what's up, Grandpa? How you been, man? How you been? So, I don't know. In a hindsight, you would almost think a Super Bowl commercial is kind of a waste of money, if you would think as a businessman. Almost.
It's a trendy thing though right now. It's it's kind of like one of those things where a lot of people actually watch the Super Bowl just for the commercial. Yeah. So you're almost obligated to do it, really, just because that's what they're really watching. Not the football game itself, but the commercial. So because it's such a big trend, everybody jumps on the bandwagon.
Yeah, that's very true. Grandpa said, "Yes, I'm overwhelmed with how good he looks. I know he looks better than me, right? I know. I know. He's got that whole sexual chocolate thing going on over there, being Mark Henry and stuff. Lucky,
Sure.
lucky. But yeah, I don't know. And it's crazy. It's crazy,
It
man.
is. Wow.
Well, go ahead. What's the next
You know,
story? Go ahead. Go ahead. My
I
bad.
was going to say, kind of along that same topic, um, World of Warcraft, and not, well, actually not World of Warcraft. Well, actually, probably that too, but I know that other games that are well known do have high dollar items. Like, for example, I want to say it's Diablo, I believe, has weapons and items. There are certain things that are like one offs
Mm-hmm.
that you only one person has that people sell for thousands of dollars as well.
Oh
And these are
yeah.
just for like one item.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nuts,
I got I got one for you. For the people that pre-ordered PUBG when PUBG was first coming out, and nobody really or pre-ordered PUBG. The ones that did pre-order PUBG, you got a bandana that like went across your face, right?
Hmm.
That is so rare that if you own that bandana right now, you can digitally sell, or not digitally, you can physically sell that for real money. It is going online for $1,000, or $10,000 right now. So if you own
Wow.
that bandana, what's up, DB? If you own that bandana on PUBG, if you pre-ordered that bandana on PUBG, you are sitting on a gold mine, because there's
Hmm.
people wanting that. A lot of people are wanting that bandana, because a lot of people back when PUBG first started, when it was like, before it was PUBG, a lot of people didn't think PUBG was gonna do well, so a lot of people didn't pre-order PUBG. A lot of people didn't. It was
Oh,
after
wow.
the game was like out on early release that people started getting into the game. So now you can't get
Hmm.
that bandana, but people actually want that bandana, and so people are actually paying thousands of dollars for it, and it's ridiculous because, in my opinion, it's ridiculous because it's like, what can I do with it? It's just gonna go across my face. I don't get no.
Hmm.
Me, if I'm paying $1,000 for something, I gotta have something physically in my hands. I just do. I gotta have like some kind of authenticity, something. What's up, though, DB? How you doing, man? So yeah, it's crazy. It's really crazy what people. But this is what keeps. This is what keeps microtransactions alive. Is stuff like this. People are
Yep.
like, oh wow, he'll spend $1,000 on a digital bandana. Jeez,
Oh,
what
yeah.
what will he pay for this? What will he pay for this? You know, but
Hmm.
what's the next thing? Or yeah, what's the next thing you want to discuss there, OG? Before I go into my
Well,
next story.
basically, it's something on a little lighter note.
Uh oh.
Little something that happened in the past. I don't know if you know this or not, but did you know that there used to be something called a Nintendo TV?
I've heard of it. Is that where the Nintendo's like in the TV with one?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, originally, it started off in Japan as like the Famicom TV, and I believe it was sold for a lot. Like I think it was like 800 or something like that. I could be wrong, but yeah, the way that it worked was you had a TV like you normally would. You have your remote and everything, and it actually came with like one or two controllers, and it had a power button for the TV, and it also
Uh,
had a separate power button for the actual Nintendo part itself that was built in. Now the idea seems pretty good because if you think about it, it's two for one. You have your TV and you have like your system all together,
yeah,
and it was a big thing.
like back in the day when they did the VCR and TVs. Remember that?
Yeah, VCR TV thing, eventually VCR DVD thing. As a matter of fact, I used to own a TV that had a DVD and a VCR attachment. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that's a thing. The problem though, and I think this is why I didn't do so well here in the States, because we did get it, but like it wasn't like huge here. Was it
What's
one?
up,
The price was
Hellboy?
a bit much.
Yeah, yeah. eight hundred
On
dollars is
on
a
top of
lot.
the price, that's a lot of money, and so not only was it expensive, but if you had an issue, you had to literally like take apart the TV itself to get to the Nintendo circuit board, which was actually very, very dangerous the way that it was set up. So if
Hmm.
you didn't have a professional doing it, you could risk like electrocuting yourself and causing some fires and all kinds of issues. So the idea was good on paper,
Again,
kind of a two for one, but
yeah.
just application wise, it doesn't work. Just because something's good on paper doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah,
it's going to work
we
out for you.
we were just talking about that. Just because an idea looks good on paper doesn't mean it's gonna plan out well. But yeah, that's funny because when I had my VCR TV combo, because remember that's how I used to record our games back in the day, was with my
Yeah.
VCR TV combo. I used to record all our wrestling games,
Mm-hmm.
all our Final Fantasy, beating Final Fantasy, all that stuff. What's going on,
Mm-hmm.
Hellboy? What's going on, DB? Warning. And you know, the funny thing was though, when the VCR went out, the whole TV went out. So that was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a little awkward.
Yep. Theory and practice. I saw a PC the other. He said I saw a PC the other day that had twin 1080 1080s, a PS4, and an Xbox built into it, like for 5-6 grand. Yeah, that's crazy. I seen that. It kind of looks like a big, huge laptop, and it had a PS4 and an Xbox built into it at once, and then it had like a screen. Yeah, I seen that. It's like white. That's crazy. It's a good
Mm-hmm.
idea, but again, if one of them breaks, you're screwed. Well, unless you're like
Yeah.
really tech savvy. But
And back then, a lot of people weren't that tech savvy. You know what I mean? It was
yeah,
kind of one of
yeah,
those technologies that was too good for what we had. Like we didn't know how to really manage it so well. That was
yeah,
the thing,
yeah. Back then we didn't have YouTube to teach us everything.
right?
Now YouTube teaches us everything. You don't know how to do something, look at it on YouTube. That's the best way to make. If you were trying to get views, I'm gonna tell you, and this is coming from me. If you want to like get views on YouTube, you want to do how-to videos. One of my only video, my most viewed video is a how-to stream from an i3 processor. How to stream on Twitch with an i3 processor with an Elgato HD60. I'm still getting views on that video. That video's got over 1,300 views right now. 1,300,
Mm-hmm.
1,200 views right now. It's crazy. The how to, because that's what a lot of people don't realize that if you are trying to market on YouTube, you kind of want to, reach everybody, and gaming doesn't reach everybody, but how to.
Mm-mm.
People want to know how to do something. So if you put how to or what or this is how to do something, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna capture somebody's eye. Just a little
Mm-hmm.
just a little YouTube tip for people that are trying. And I know I'm not big on YouTube. I don't even have over 100 subs. But the reason why I don't have a lot on YouTube is not because of of YouTube. It's because of me. I put more time and more effort into Twitch than I do YouTube. Now, if I was able to put the same effort and the same time into YouTube, man, YouTube and Twitch would be neck to neck, or YouTube would be more than Twitch because one would have to fall off. But I enjoy doing Twitch more than YouTube. Um, Twitch is more of a rush to me, meaning I enjoy interacting with people. I enjoy um the immediate response. So just a little side quest. Sorry, we had to go on a little side quest. For you guys that are like wanting to do YouTube, the best way to, my opinion, is to start doing how-to videos and how to do stuff. Because that's what 90% of people look on YouTube on how to do something, or how to get something, or how to figure something out, or how to get past something. Um, I tell you, that's what I get on YouTube for. There's only a few content creators that I actually watch as gaming, and OG being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very few. I don't watch a lot of people's gaming stuff, and it's just because it's so saturated. It's so much, because everybody's trying to be that gaming YouTube guy. But when it comes to like how to do something, like I was on YouTube the other day. I was figuring out how to stream my cell phone on Twitch, and I figured it out. All I gotta get is the Google Chrome, because I don't know, maybe I want to show people what I'm doing on Age of a New Empire one day, and if I want to do it, I can do it. So again, I looked up a how-to video. So
Yep.
that's pretty
And that
cool.
is what YouTube is really good for. Now, me personally, I mean, the reason I used to watch YouTube videos, back when I was doing this in probably about 2013, 2012 ish, was, at the time I was just looking for Let's Play videos so that I could, learn all the secrets about the RPG instead of having to read an entire player's guide. Because
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's easier for me to watch somebody do it than to read the instructions, because sometimes I just misunderstand the instructions. You know what I mean?
Right,
So if I
right.
misinterpret the instructions, I'm going to mess it up and I'm going to be lost. Like, why am I always stuck? But when I watch somebody do it, which I did find lots of good, YouTubers who did OP
Right.
back then, and I was actually able to physically see how to do it. Thus, I was able to imitate it and get the most out of my gaming experience. It wasn't because I was lazy, because again, I was trying to do it myself. But just sometimes the player's guides, at least to me, are not always that clear.
No, yeah,
You
they're
know?
very they're very gray. Like
Yeah.
their wording is messed up. And
Yeah, and in a sense, it's kind of a how-to video, because
right.
literally you're seeing how
How
to
to
play
do
this game. How
yeah.
do you get this secret? How do you
How do you
get
yeah.
this item?
Exactly. So again, it still goes back to what I said. 90% of the reason why people are on YouTube is how to do something. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I am going to go into my audible audible instructions are always better than written instructions. Yeah, me too.
Agreed.
Agreed. Because I tend to read ahead and then I miss something and then I'm like, oh crap. Okay, well if I would have just like skipped up or went back a paragraph, I would have figured it out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm eating Chex Mix. I'm like, I don't know why. I actually like woke up really hungry this morning, which is really weird. Normally, I don't eat when I wake up, so I apologize if you hear me crunching and munching. For those people that are listening in the podcast, um, weirdly enough, another side quest, real quick. I I actually finally put the podcast link in the our on our Facebook page
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it freaking 70 people viewed it, which is really crazy.
Nice.
We don't even have 70 people in like the page, so that's really crazy. I don't know how that happened, but YOLO. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, so the next thing I want to talk about is good old Activision, and I got OG on the same page. I had OG watch the video. Basically, Activision has come out with a patent to make people have to, well, not have to, but make them feel like let me rephrase this, to make them feel like they have to get microtransactions. Now, basically what this is, in a nutshell, I'm going to be very, very layman's terms. So, if you guys want to get technical with it, if you guys want to explain in the chat in a more technical aspect, feel free. But I'm going to go very layman for people that are just like not the hardcore gamer. So basically what it is basically what this patent does is it basically makes it to where it will put you with like people, like it knows like the kind of like the way you play. So say for instance, it knows like I like an AR and I'm a running gunner. So it'll put me with those kind of people. But it will put me with people that are better than me, and it will put it with people that have the better guns. Like the guns that I need to, get in loot boxes. So, and it will make me like with those better players, so it'll make it seem like, oh well, I need that gun to be that good and stuff like that. So in hindsight, it'll make you think that you need to have that gun or you need to get that gun, so it'll make you get that gun. And then when you get that gun, it will put you in a lesser experienced lobby to where it'll make you feel like you did good with your purchase. So that, oh yeah, that gun did help me. So basically it's like it's feeding you lies in a sense to make you feel like, oh yeah, see, if I go and buy more loot boxes, I'm gonna do really well. But in hindsight, it's all part of the program. And the weirdly thing enough, it actually knows what gun you actually want. So it'll put you in a more common lobby of the gun that you're actually trying to get, which is really weird. Now, Activision goes to say that, hey, we haven't put it in any of these games. High developers have said, hey, we haven't put these in any other games. Dealer feeding, yeah. Dealer feeding the addict. Exactly. He said they haven't put it in any of their games, and they're not going to. But my thing is, and this is a question that I want to ask you. Even if so, what is stopping other companies for putting this in their games?
Right.
Their own version of it in their games. Because let's face it, guys, it's not technically against the law. The video gaming is kind of like in the Wild Wild West stage in some ways, to where none of this is being held accountable. This is where I would see us gambling in a sense, because it's actually it's a bot to make you feel like it's making you feed into a lie, and that's not cool. I don't like it. I don't support it. Now. And then my other question is to you, why would you spend all that money for a patent, have the patent, and not use it? That's the next question, because patents are not cheap, guys. You can't just go, I can't be like, hey, OG, guess what? I'm gonna go use this $20 right here and go buy this patent for this game. And then, we just won't use it. We'll just, keep it in safekeeping. No, we're talking patents. Some patents cost like hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars. So you're gonna just tell me, no, we're not gonna use it. Guarantee, it may not be so-called, maybe not be in this Call of Duty, but it's gonna be in an Activision game soon. And you gotta remember what Activision owns, what games they own. They own they help with Overwatch, I believe. Yeah, because Activision owns Blizzard. So they help that. Activision also owns. My problem isn't that they were doing it or not. The fact is that they filed for a patent. So if others can change others for using it, another charge others for using it. Yeah, exactly. So if somebody else tries to use it, then they can actually sue them for it, which is really crazy. That's the crazy thing. Even if they don't use it in their game and somebody else uses it in their game, they can still sue somebody for it, which is really crazy.
Or they can pay Activision to allow them to do it, kind of a thing.
Right.
Yeah. So either way, they're making money off of it, whether they physically do it or not. They're still responsible for it at the end of the day.
Here's something that I wanna put in perspective. What game did you just say that we were talking about that were in the top 10 games that were the most pay to win games you were just talking about earlier?
Candy Crush?
Yeah. What does Activision own? Candy Crush. Candy Crush.
Did not know that. Well, I did, but I didn't think about it.
Yeah, Activision they bought the whole company for $84 billion. Yo, Keth MC, I can't read the rest of your name. Welcome to the Kill Cam Squad, where we chillin', we killin', we have no drama. Appreciate you, man. He said Activision is killing themselves in the gaming world. Well, yo, Angela with that resub. Let's go. Let's get it. Yo, Angela, thank you so much for that resub. Thank you so much, Angela. You are awesome. 4 months in a row.
That hype is real.
The hype is real. And always in the podcast now.
I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining either because it gives y'all like double it gives y'all like publicity too because everybody's hearing it on Stitcher. They're like, "What? What is that? That's freaking crazy. That's awesome." So, oh yeah, speaking of the Oh My Jesus emote, you as of yesterday, you can now get the Oh My Jesus hoodie also.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can get the hoodie with the Oh My Jesus
logo on it.
Yeah, logo on it, which is pretty cool. It was requested by a viewer. They said that you should do that, and so I went and did it. I only do it when it's requested. I only do stuff when it's requested. So it's pretty cool. I'm actually thinking I'm actually gonna email them today and see if we can, because there's a handy Kill Cam coffee mug, but I think an Oh My Jesus coffee mug would even be better. Just saying. Yeah. I think it'd be funnier. I think it'd be funny. It'd be hilarious.
I like it.
I like it too. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. Microtransactions. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so, my thing is that, like, I don't know. You could see it more into mobile games, I think. And they might experiment it more into mobile games. I could see it being more into mobile games, but not saying that it won't happen in other games. I mean, who's to say that it's not already in games and we just didn't realize it until now? So again, I'm not happy with that, what Activision's doing. I don't support it. But there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to be, it's one of those things. Is buyer beware. If you buy Call of Duty, know what you're getting into. You buy any Activision games, know what you're getting into, and know that, hey, if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. You know what I mean? But there's no law against it, and there's no law saying that they have to tell you this. The only reason why it was even brought to anybody's attention is because somebody found it and somebody blew the whistle.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why it was brought to anybody's attention. Other than that, who's to say? And who's to say that it's
I think it's sad.
I think
it really is. Because, granted, I'm one of the few people that actually likes the idea of microtransactions in general, right. But this is kind of where it takes it too far. I don't think that games in general should allow the idea of forcing you, like you said, to play against somebody that has better gear or whatever, just to kind of make you think that, okay, well, if I spend this money, I get to do this. And then when you do buy it, you start off doing well, because then they, instead of putting you against people of your equal level in stats, they put you up against a weaker opponent,
right?
Which is a twofold thing, because then that weaker player wants to buy the new stuff, and you being the one that's already bought it is like, wow, this does actually work, until you get to a certain level and you realize it's all the same and you just wasted money, kind of a thing,
right?
Like, the gaming algorithms used to be a thing where it was fair play. If you were new, you went up against people that were, about as new as you were, maybe slightly newer, whatever the case was, but it wasn't like a big gap,
right.
So you felt that if you actually tried, you could do better. Whereas now it looks like some games might get to the point to where it's going to trick you into spending money. And that part I don't agree with.
No, I don't.
There's one thing to pay to get ahead, but there's another thing to be more or less lied to.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
That to me is gambling, because let's face it, the dealer will always try to trick you. You know what I mean? The dealer, the house always wins, right? House always wins unless you're smart, but the house normally wins, and this is where the gambling, and see, this is where it happens. This is where it's gonna mess everything up, is because people don't know the difference between regular microtransactions and this situation. So what's gonna happen is, altogether, people are going to say microtransactions are bad. And
the thing is, people are already saying it now. It's just going to get worse.
It's just going to get worse. Like I said, mark my words, it's going to be put in a game if it's not already.
I'm sure it's already been done.
You're not going to have a patent and just sit on it. You're not. You're not.
You do a patent for a reason.
Right, exactly. You're just, again, you are trying to do damage control, PR control, because you have a Call of Duty coming out next week. You know what I mean? Call of Duty comes out next week. This came out.
Yep.
This came out what, a week ago or a couple of days ago?
Mhm.
It's damage control. It's damage control
Yeah.
because if somebody finds out that this that it is in this Call of Duty, a lot of people are gonna return. Return their copies, stop their pre-orders. If they find out that Activision was using this, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. But in my opinion, I feel like Fortnite and PUBG is gonna kill COD anyway. And it's not because of the game. It's not because of the game. It's not the game. It's the genre of the game, the battle royale style game. Everybody's hungry for that new genre, and that genre is a good genre. I don't care what game it is. As long as the game is done well and works well and thrives well and has a good reward system. I guess that would be like the next thing. Like, my only complaint about Fortnite is like the reward system. Like, there's really, of course we all want umbrellas, but it's like, okay, after you get so many umbrellas, what's after that? You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you had a good reward system, it's gonna succeed. Fortnite's already succeeding. We already know that. Fortnite's doing a great job. PUBG's, we'll see what happens when PUBG hits console. But that's gonna be the COD killer in my opinion. I'm more excited for PUBG hitting Xbox One than I am for Call of Duty coming out next week.
Wow.
Yeah, and I gotta wait for PUBG to come out until Christmas. And it's just because it's not that it's Call of Duty is an opinion, but I'm excited for the new genre. I like the new genre. I enjoy the new genre a lot. And then with all this with Call of Duty, it's just a big turnoff. And I don't know. And then come to find out, they said they weren't putting variants in the game, but in a sense, it seems like they might be putting variants in the game. So I'm tired of Activision lying to me. And it's like, I don't like liars in real life, so why would I like liars in video games? So,
right.
It's just...
It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. So it's like, why am I going to support a game that lies to me? Again, I am getting Call of Duty for the PS4. I will be playing for it. I've already invested my money into it. So, it is what it is. I will be playing it on the channel, but it's not going to be my most exciting game of the year. My most exciting game of the year for me is when PUBG hits Xbox One. That's when I'm going to be excited. That's when I'm going to be full-fledged. Hopefully by then I'll have my 5,000 viewers by then, so I could do my 24-hour stream. Because that's when I'll be doing, not viewers, followers. When I reach 5,000, that's when I'll be doing a 24-hour stream. Another one. PUBG, I know it. Yeah, I know PUBG. See, everybody. Yeah, I know PUBG. PUBG is gonna be the game. I don't think this COD's gonna last its whole cycle. Not because of it being a bad game, but because of Fortnite and PUBG. Everybody's just gonna get burnt out of COD. People don't realize what keeps COD alive is the esports. IW was prime example. Not a lot of people were playing IW again until COD Champs came up again. I don't even have an Xbox, so I will be playing COD. Oh yeah, see? But it will be coming out. It will be coming out for PS4. It will just be coming out for PS4 later. Basically, Xbox is just getting a good first dib. You can't wait for Black Ops. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, because Michael Condrey tweeted out, and again, this is from my silent reporter DB. I'm not taking no credit from this. Michael Condrey, and this is the one that created World War II. He said, "What would you think of a battle royale mode in Call of Duty?" And that was that. So maybe we may see a battle royale mode in W2. Maybe we'll see it in Black Ops. I don't want to see a battle royale mode in World War II. I don't think it's gonna be that great for World War II. I don't see it thriving in World War II. I don't think it's the wrong setting. Just like I don't think they should add what's that game mode, uplink or blitz or whatever in World War II. But apparently they're adding that, and I just don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be weird, just because it's a World War II setting. But again, they gotta feed the esports side of things because, like I said, what's up, Fire Team? Welcome back. Like I said, esports is what keeps COD alive. The IW COD champs was proven fact because really nobody was playing COD, and then when IW the champs came up, everybody started playing IW again. It is because everybody wants to try to be like the next Scump or the next Formal or the next whatever. Yes, there is footage of uplink mode, and I believe the what? Hold on there, Knight. I will read your message in a second. I'm gotta read this other person's message. Yep. I believe the ball is a football. See? That's weird. It doesn't feel right. Mark my words. These game publishers, developers are going to bring on the gaming crash of. Ooh, wow. That's hard. That's hard. 1983. Yeah, 1980. Yeah, 89 of 89. This time it won't be Nintendo, but it will bail them out like they did in the 19. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading. I apologize. My glasses are messed up. 1989 with game Mario. Well, it's funny you say that because after OG comes with his next segment, I got my next segment, and this may be a breath of fresh air. Go ahead, OG. What you got?
This is kind of something that was kind of a request from someone that I game with who actually happened to watch the podcast before.
Nice.
And it's one of my trading card game friends, and he wanted me to kind of do a card game comparison because two card games that are kind of getting a little more popularity, I guess. One being Hearthstone, obviously, which is probably the number one as far as electronic card gaming by the masses. And then, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And they wanted me to kind of do a bit of a comparison of the two.
Interesting.
To kind of, I guess convey a message to everybody, what everyone should play, what's the big difference, things like that. So, just as a fan request, I will be going ahead and just kind of going over the two real quick for you guys. So, if you're in it to win it to the point where you're trying to make money, you're making an investment, Hearthstone would be the way to go. The problem with Duel Links in the financial aspect is it doesn't really have a real tournament backing. I mean, they had their first world championship this year, but that's like the one and only thing that they've done.
Yeah,
and I'm not even really sure what the prize was, but I'm pretty sure the prize wasn't that much. And come to find out, not only was it kind of, a one-off thing, but there were even people that were cheating during the qualifying parts, and they had to kind of backtrack to more or less redo everybody's rankings to try to make it fair again. So they're not as much as I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, they're not really organized enough to actually be competitive yet. Yeah, they can't have an esports backing right now. Now that doesn't mean that they won't be able to have it in the future. But as of right now, don't expect much from them as far as the esports scene, as far as, you being able to make money off of doing what you do. As a matter of fact, I would strongly suggest not even spending a lot of money on the game. And I'm not saying not to spend money at all, but I wouldn't really invest too much. It's one thing if you want to donate a few dollars here and there to support the game, which is fine. I'm all about, microtransactions and supporting your game company. That's perfectly fine. But the game doesn't really need it. And this is actually where Duel Links has its high point. it's such a freebie, free giving game that they give you so much stuff just for participating in events. You don't even need to spend money, and you can still get lots of stuff and what you need if you take the time to do it. So, if you're a casual player and you don't have a lot of money that you want to spend anyway, but you don't mind spending like $5 or $10 here or there, or you want to just play for free, this is the card game for you. It's a lot of fun. There's always unique things coming out as far as what people are playing, but Hearthstone, as far as making money, is where it's at.
Yeah,
Bli-
it's a hardcore one in my opinion.
like if you the most recent BlizzCon actually had the Hearthstone Championship, where I believe the first place person won like $1 million or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of money for someone to win. And of course, everybody that was in the top places got a good chunk of change too. So it wasn't like people who lost it and didn't get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But Hearthstone, even though it can be a really big money making game, it does cost a lot of money to invest. Now, I understand that you can play the game a lot and grind a bit, but if you're not spending money, I guarantee you're not going to be able to compete
Nope.
as far as tournaments are concerned, because the cards that you need are very expensive, and it's going to take you forever just to
That's
get one or two of those big dollar cards.
that's a pay to win scenario right there. You guys
Yeah,
don't want
that
to know
that
pay
is
to
kind
win.
of where a pay to win thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to make money, understand you're going to need to invest money. Like if you want to legitimately compete, I mean, expect to spend $1,000 a year on
Mm-hmm.
average.
And you gotta
Expect to spend that.
and you gotta think about it too. Because everybody's like, well, what about all these big streamers on Twitch that do it? Well, they're big streamers, so you guys that are sub to them, you guys that are supporting them, do donations. I guarantee you, some of that money's going towards their their what is well, I can't think of the game
Their
now.
cards, bro, their
Yeah, their
collection.
card.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going towards they're investing in Hearthstone, which is
yeah.
I mean, of course it's okay. I mean, it makes
It's a
sense.
smart way to do it.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
if you're
smart way to
streaming
do
the
it.
game, and there are a lot of good people that stream the game, because I've
Oh,
actually watched a few YouTube people, the people who stream it live, and they're entertaining, they do a good job, and they have a good collection. But that's because one, they
money.
have the side money from streaming, and two, sometimes they participate in events and win money. So
Right.
it's kind of like the streamers kind of paying their way into
Hmm.
going into the championships, kind of,
Yeah,
which I
definitely.
think is
Which makes
fine.
sense. It should what you do on Twitch should pay for itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
So that's perfectly fine. But just know that if you do want to get competitive in Hearthstone, I mean, one, it is going to take a lot of practice because you have to know how to play the game. You have
Yeah.
to actually not make mistakes and build your what you're building correctly. But it's going to be a lot of financial investment.
It's more
Yeah,
strategic than Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, honestly. In my
a
opinion,
lot more strategic.
it's
Yeah,
very. I mean,
'cause, I mean,
I still play both games, and what keeps me into Hearthstone is the strategic part of it. Really, honestly,
yeah,
it 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 does something to my brain that makes it feel good. Like when you complete a combo, or when you like beat a strat. It's almost like the new chess, in my opinion. Um,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a new way of
Hmm.
chess, and I enjoy it. Um, so yeah, I totally agree with that assessment. And also, Hearthstone has a big Twitch presence, and also Hearthstone is cross-platform.
Oh yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh is not cross-platform, so
Nope.
it makes it hard to bring actually more awareness to it. Because you can't. I mean, you can stream it. You can stream it from your phone, but it can't. A lot of people don't like looking at black bars on the sides. Um,
Right.
you know, and the I would say the atmosphere when you're battling is not as intense as
As
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
Yes.
And with Hearthstone, it also depends on how you're playing it. Because what I've learned is if you play on PC, you can actually see a lot of more of the visual graphics a little bit better. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're not like major changes, but there are enough changes to where you can tell that it makes a difference.
Oh yeah,
It
definitely.
actually looks nicer. And then on top of that, the game is very comical. Like for those who haven't played Hearthstone, like there are lots of funny references. Like the whole Leroy Jenkins, like
Jenkins,
that's
yeah,
in that game. You know,
yeah,
there's actually a card with that person's name on it or the
yeah,
character's name on it. You know what I mean? And then they do a lot of funny, silly stuff when you summon the cards that do different things. And then of course when you summon like these holy paladins, they always have this crazy speech that's just over dramatic. But I love it because that's the kind of stuff that I like. So I mean, it's very entertaining too. Like, don't get me wrong, it's very entertaining.
yeah,
And if you're a casual player, I mean, it's definitely fun at first, especially if you're doing like the campaigns where if you actually have a kind of a story where you have to beat all these demons or whatever to get all the better cards or whatever. And you know, there's a sense of accomplishment there, and that's kind of fun. The only thing that the casual player is not going to like is when you're trying to actually get up in ranking because once you hit about I would say maybe 13 or 14 it does kind of start to get a little bit difficult and that might turn off some casual players, but there is a non-ranked mode. So
yes.
even if you're not a competitive player, you can play in casual mode against other casual people and have a great time. And you can play with your friends pretty easily too. And your friends can watch you play other people.
I've
As a
done that
matter
a
of
lot.
fact, I have videos where your boy Handy actually watched me play another guy, which was
Mm-hmm.
actually one of my funniest videos in my opinion.
Yeah, dude.
Because he was like making mistakes and I was just calling him out. It was just funny,
It was
But like
funny.
it's the game is very entertaining. It almost makes you want to download it and play it again,
I,
just because
I, I
I
still have
kind
it.
of miss that
I
atmosphere.
still have it on my PC. I have it on.
Nice.
It's one of the games I have on my PC that I play. I can actually
Hmm.
play it. You know, uh, again, it's one of the most top streaming games on Twitch.
Oh, a little known fact. Hearthstone is the first game I ever streamed live. It was the
Really?
only game I've ever streamed live. I mean, I did it kind of on accident because um, Hearthstone was doing kind of a test for Facebook.
Yes.
So it was like a beta version. I don't know if they actually released the full on version of what it is now, but they did a beta version like, what, a year or so ago, where you could actually stream on Facebook if you're using your PC. And
Mm.
that's what I did. And believe it or not, I actually got a few people I know that were actually watching me play. I didn't even realize that people were actually watching. I was just playing the game and kind of doing my thing. And everyone's now sending me private messages. I was like, "Hey, what's your handle? You know what I mean? I want to send you a request so we can play each other." I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
crap!" Apparently, I had more friends on Facebook that played than I realized.
One of
It was
the
kind of nuts.
one of the main guys over at Able Gamers. In fact, the guy that got me into Able Gamers, the guy that I spoke to, Craigums, go check him out. Go check out Craigums at twitch.tv. Craigums, go check him out. He's over at not PAX, but TwitchCon. He's just getting back from
Hmm.
TwitchCon, but he actually streams and plays Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
And yeah,
That's awesome.
we're actually supposed to be playing together because another beautiful thing is too, is it is really cross-platform to where I could play somebody on my phone, and they could be on their PC. That's pretty cool. Just want to throw
Yeah.
that out there. That's awesome. And I think that if Yu-Gi-Oh is going to be that kind of game, it needs to step their game up. They gotta
They
they
do.
got they gotta get on PC. They gotta get on
They
PC.
do.
They gotta get on PC. But I totally agree with you 100%.
Now, I'm not saying that Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links is a bad game because I actually really enjoy it a lot, but I enjoy it more for the casual
Right.
aspect of it, not really for its competitiveness.
Competitiveness,
So
yeah.
that's kind of where it is. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, I can be very creative and I can win with almost anything, but that's also kind of the problem is that I can almost win with anything. As a
Anything.
matter of fact, I actually did a video recently where I finally reached platinum rank. And I hadn't actually tried to be competitive in a while, and I just happened to say, "Screw it, I'm going to play rank mode." And I was like dominating for a while until I hit platinum, and then I finally started losing a little. But I
Yeah.
was like, "Dang, it got easier all of a sudden."
Yeah, I haven't watched that video yet. I was actually gonna watch that video today. To be perfectly honest, the video I was looking for was the Final Fantasy video, so I
Oh, I
watched
know.
that. I watched that.
It's And
Um,
honestly, the Final Fantasy videos are starting to get a following for me. So I'm doing it more often than I planned. In all honesty, I wasn't really planning on making many Final Fantasy videos, but people are watching, so I guess I might just do more. Who knows? We'll
yeah,
see what happens there.
yeah. Little side quest. The reason why I haven't been doing a lot of the wrestling videos is because one, I've been busy. Two, a lot of people are not doing the online ranking mode to do the pay-per-view. In fact, I qualified for the pay-per-view, but then nobody was there to play the pay-per-view. So basically, I put all that time and effort to qualify to not even to get the match, to even get the to get the swag or to get the trophy per se. So
Yeah, like wrestling games don't really have a big following. Like a lot of
yeah,
people will watch the actual, wrestling, entertainment itself, but a lot of people are really not into playing the game. That's
no,
just not a big thing.
no, it's not too late to host. I got a few other things I want to talk about, but the sub thing's still gonna work, so that's good, cause I don't need online for that. Don't need to
Right.
play online for that, so that's good. But so that's why I haven't been doing a lot of the WWE videos. Um, I'm trying to think of another thing I could do to replace it, but I haven't figured it out yet. Yo, thank you for that, host. I don't know why my notifications aren't working, but that just giving me motivation to go into Stream Elements, because I need to go into Stream Elements and add a few things anyways. Um, Thank you so much, Diesel Girl. It was a pleasure watching you play Fortnite last night with Grandpa and going on to your own little adventure mode. It was great. Awesome. Um, I say that to Diesel just to pick on her a little bit. But yeah, so the next thing I want to talk about that I'm super excited for, that I may even fork up the money for, the Sega's almost here. The new Sega is almost here. That's right. It is close. It is like probably 200. I think it was like 200 signatures away becoming a real thing, to where they already got a prototype made. It is called. Do you watched the video, correct, OG?
Yeah, I did watch the video.
It's called
I
the
think it's called
Spartan.
Spartan.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called the Spartan. This would be called. So basically, and let me tell you what, these people are going all out, and basically they're gonna present it to Sega, and Sega might put their name behind it, and we may have a new Sega console. It's gonna be called, well, praying. It's gonna be called the Sega Spartan. It's gonna have 4K resolution. Um, they've already got a Sonic 4K game already made. Um,
Yeah, I saw that.
Too late. DB. Going to pretend. Oh, no, it's not too late. So Sega, yes, Sega is coming. Sega is coming. I almost don't see a reason for them not to. And the beautiful thing is, I mean, it's kind of. I think most of their games are going to be digital. There's going to be probably no physical games. They're also going to make a lesser version to where you don't have to have 4K. They're going to think about making a 1080p model, but basically they're basically putting this thing is supposed to be better than the Xbox One X. So I don't know how soon it's going to be released. Like I said, they already got a playable prototype already. They're going to be presenting it to Sega. I'm hoping it comes. I don't know. I mean, they say they're going to stay away from Steam. I kind of hope they do. I don't want it to turn into a Steam machine, but then I kind of do, because, I don't have a PC and I would kind of like it. Now, the controller is nothing to rant about. The controller actually looks like a PlayStation and Xbox controller had a baby. Would you agree?
Yeah,
A,
a little bit.
a bumpy
It's
baby.
really clunky. I'll
It's
be honest with you. It's really, really like bulky, I guess is the best way to put it. Like it almost looks like the N64 controller without that middle part.
Yeah,
Like
I would agree.
I don't know. It's I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah,
But other than the controller, it does look like a good idea, though. I absolutely agree. Um, I think the idea was that we're going to get 35,000 signatures, if I'm
right.
not
Yeah,
mistaken, and
35.
then they were going to present it to Sega to say, "Hey, we have a serious crowd that's looking to invest. I mean, are you okay with it?" I believe that a criticism that the person that made the video stated about it was there was one thing I didn't like is the fact that it was supposed to be like open.
Open source. Open source.
Open source,
Yeah.
which means that Sega wouldn't make as much money on it. So, other than that, I think that if they were to make some minor adjustments to how they present it to Sega, they might say yes to it. So, I'm actually interested. I think that this could be a real thing, and I kind of like it. I hope it works out.
Yeah, I'm like super excited. DB says someone once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. That's funny. You're funny, DB. But anyway, he's talking about the conversation in the chat. But yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm actually really excited. The price point might be a little pricey. I think they were saying about $400, but I would I would stop. I'd probably buy them. I'd probably buy it just because it's a new Sega, and I've been wanting a new Sega product for a long time. I don't know about you. What would you?
Well, I mean, honestly, I wasn't really pushing for a Sega thing, but knowing that it's a possibility, I'll say that I'm a little bit excited about it. I'm wondering if Sega's going to be kind of like old school Sega, where they were pretty much like breaking all the rules and trying to, become the best and actually cause a console war. Because let's just face it, Sony and Microsoft aren't really console warring. Let's just be
No,
honest.
no.
So I would like to see Sega kind of mix things up and say, hey Sony, hey Microsoft, what you got now? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd like to see them do that. I miss the smack talk that Sega and Nintendo used to do back in the day, back when there was a legitimate console war. So that's really the only reason that I'm kind of liking the whole Sega thing potentially being a thing, because I just want to see what they do to the industry in general.
yeah. I think the game is in due for a console war. I think it will shake things up because it's like right now, like right. If you look at the WWE, the reason why the WWE is losing money is because they don't have to do anything. There's nothing that's making them have to think outside the box. You know what I mean? There's nobody pushing them to their limits. There's no war. There's nobody trying to take them out of business. They're actually killing themselves. And it's the same thing with Xbox and these other companies. There's nothing pushing them to the limit because there's nothing threatening. Like, let's face it, PlayStation's not threatening Xbox. Xbox is not threatening PlayStation. They're practically the same system, guys. Just a
It's
little.
almost like they're working together. Not to
Yeah.
say that they actually are, but that's just kind of what it
It
feels like.
it's
It's like they don't really care about the competition.
yeah. It's basically like this. It's like there. Everybody compete. Everybody says there's a competition between Apple and Samsung, but guess what? There's not. There's actual Samsung insides or Apple insides, the company parts, like parts inside each other's phones. So they're really not competing with each other. They're just two different names, and there's certain like their parts are made from the same manufacturers. Is what I'm getting at.
Hmm.
So there's really no competition there, but people put them in a competitive space, but there's really not a competitive space. Granted, in my opinion, Samsung is better than iPhone, but um, that's not because of the insides. That's because of the operating system, and they're behind Samsung, like they're behind, like Samsung is ahead, or Android's ahead. Excuse me. So yeah, the reason why Samsung is better than iPhone is because of Android, not because of, Apple, not because of, So my thing about it is it's the same thing. There's no like physical competition between Xbox and PlayStation. What makes it competitive is we make it competitive. If we weren't in the mix,
Right.
there would be no competitiveness. But Sega's looking to take somebody's head. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to take Nintendo's head, but you never know. You
Well,
never.
I mean, I don't know if Nintendo's going to care anymore, only because, I mean, yes, Nintendo and Sega have a really bad rivalry. I mean, we kind of discussed it recently, and there's actually more that I didn't even talk about, really. Um, but even though Nintendo and Sega have such bad blood with each other, being that Nintendo has gotten to the point where they've been doing their own thing, I don't even know if Nintendo's even going to care anymore. You know, I mean, because Nintendo's doing things so differently that they're in a league of their own, really. Like,
Yeah.
they're not even really, they don't have to be in competition.
Yeah, that's very true. Speaking side quests, we're going on a side quest. Nintendo has released the GameCube controllers to work on the Switch. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I mean, I guess it's good if you're ever gonna play like a Smash Brothers game, because a lot of people, at least myself, I actually like playing Smash using a GameCube controller.
Yeah.
So I mean, that could be a thing. Because as far as like competitive play and esports is concerned, in terms of Nintendo, I mean, honestly, Smash Brothers is probably their biggest competitive title. I may be wrong though, but anytime I watch any kind of tournaments that have
It's always
Nintendo's
Smash
name on it,
Brothers. It's
it's
always
always Smash
Smash
Brothers.
Brothers.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. It's good that Nintendo at least has a competitive game. I mean, even every time you watch something on Evo, which is like the biggest fighting game tournament here in the states, Smash Brothers is there. You know what I mean? And it's a big deal. It's a lot of hype behind it. So
Let me share something about Smash Brothers, and it just came to my attention. It just really came to my attention. It's just really gonna blow my mind. This blew my mind just right this second. It's gonna blow your mind. Everybody complains about how every game is always like another game. There's no game like Smash Brothers.
Nope, none whatsoever.
There is no game that comes close that's even like Smash Brothers. Name one
Nope.
game. Someone name one game. Someone name one game right now that is like Super Smash Brothers right now. Nintendo's the only one that has originally made a game that there is not one game, or there is not a game in the industry that is like Smash Brothers. That is the most original game out right now if you think about it. And it's surpassed years, because we're talking all the way back from 64. So we're talking 10, 12 years, and that game is still original. There's no other game like it. The only game that's been like it is the other games that have made themselves that are Super Smash Brothers. Sims?
Yeah.
No, not Sims. Super Smash Brothers. Super Smash Brothers and Sims are not the same.
Yeah, they're a completely different thing. Yeah. But yeah, no, there's really nothing like Smash Brothers. And when I first heard about Smash Brothers, like this is back Power, that's how old this was. When I first read about the idea of Smash Brothers, I was hype. I was like, wait, they're making a game where I can put Mario versus Link, and then throwing Samus in the mix, and all my other favorite Nintendo characters are all going to duke it out.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great idea. And then the game came out, and it was just as good as I thought it would be. And every time they made a new version of Smash Brothers, it was always better for one reason or another. Now, personally, I like the GameCube version better than the rest.
Yeah, me too.
Don't get me wrong, I like the ones that came afterwards only because I could play certain characters. But the one for GameCube really is just the one that I like the most, that I've gotten so much replay value out of. And because even though it's a fighting game, there are a lot of one-player modes that can keep you going.
Right. And I haven't played the new one that's out, and it's probably the only reason why I would get that. And well, we discussed that. The main reason why I'd get a freaking Switch is for Zelda and Smash Brothers. And no, none of those games are like freaking Smash Brothers, man. You can tell me you can't put there's no game where you can fight Sonic and freaking Dr. Robotnik and all that, and just duke it out in a battle royale in a different way, in a freaking, like, there's no game. Sega hasn't done it. PlayStation hasn't done it. Xbox hasn't done it.
And not to say that they need to.
No, they don't need to.
But I mean, the fighting games that Sony makes are good enough. Like, your Marvel vs. Capcoms and all that. Those are good, solid games. Heck, even the new Dragon Ball Z Fighter game looks pretty good. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's fine. Like, continue to do what you're doing. But yeah, you're not really going to find anything like Smash.
No. I basically brought that up because everybody says, oh, there's no original games out there no more. Everybody's copying each other. Well, answer this question. Who's copying Smash Brothers? You want an original game? Go play Smash Brothers. It's the most original game out right now. For decades. For 15, 16 years. And that just came to my attention right now. This is why we do stuff on the fly. This is why we're not scripted. Because if we were scripted, we would have never came up with this. I would have never came up with this. I'd have had to stick to the stupid script. But yeah.
Yep.
Freaking, that's crazy, man. That is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That is freaking nuts.
So Smash Brothers hype.
Smash Brothers hype,
man.
Yeah, so I don't ever want to hear nobody say, "Oh, there's no original games anymore." Yeah, there is. It's called Smash Brothers. Get with the program. And there's another game by Nintendo that's original. But
What's that?
It's a first person, kind of a first. It's weird though. Splatoon.
I've heard of it, but I never actually played it. But apparently it's a big deal.
Apparently it could be an esport. Don't know how, but basically all you're doing is you're trying to paint a certain area before somebody else is. But you have like, instead of like, you have different classes. Like you have a spray gun, which is like, you know, like a paint spray gun, or another kind of paint gun, or like a roller. And yeah, there's Splatoon, because that game you're not killing nobody, you're just trying to paint the map, and it's really weird. Like, I'm not interested. The graphics look amazing, but it's kind of interesting. Oh, you couldn't hear me? Splatoon. There's no original COD anymore. That's because COD just needs to die. COD needs to go away.
You're just done with Call of Duty. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna play it. I mean, I got to. I invested $100 into it. I gotta play it. But
you're pot committed.
Yeah, I'm pot committed. Exactly. But you know, and I'm gonna stream it, and it's probably gonna where I get most of my followers, which is cool. I'm all about that. But I'm you know, I'm not you know. Everybody's all Treyarch, and I'm like, yeah, but let's just do something else. Let's just throw away the IP and let's just make a whole new game. COD, why don't, if you want to make a battle royale game, how about you just make a whole new battle royale game? You know, with the progression stuff that you have in Call of Duty, to where like when you level up, you can mod your weapons a certain way when you pick them up, or you can pick up certain weapons, or you're able to get into certain areas of the map, or something like that. You know what I mean? Because what keeps COD alive, well, not alive, but what keeps people playing COD, besides the esports team, but is like, you don't have to be good at COD. I could literally not get one kill and still prestige. And that's sad. My 3-year-old daughter can, or no, not 3-year-old daughter, my 6-year-old daughter. I have another kid somewhere. What? My 6-year-old daughter can prestige, because there's no. It might take you longer, but you still get experience for completing a game. You still get experience for losing a game. Oh, yeah. Thank you for them 22. Thank y'all for them. Oh, that notification works. 120, 30, 40, 50, 60 biddies, man. Look at all them biddies. 20 biddies because somebody's supposed to. Thank y'all for them biddies. That was in love of Boobies and Crew Dog. For those that don't know, Boobies and Crew Dog are on vacation. They went on a cruise, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, they went on a week cruise, so that's where they are. I got offered to go, but me and my wife declined because we can't plan that far in advance due to my wife's job, and I'm glad we didn't, because my wife ended up losing her job and getting another job over the week. Thank y'all for the biddies. 120, 30, when are they 40, coming back? They will be back 60 biddies, man. Look at all the biddies. Thank y'all for the biddies. Yeah, I still get love for the biddy song, man. It's crazy. All the ideas that I've thought of in my sleep or in the shower have been amazing ideas. So thank you, God, for this brain. But yeah, so I don't even remember where we were at. We were talking about Splatoon. But
well, you brought it up because there were no games that were original, like Smash Bros.
Thank y'all for the biddies. Oh, thank you for the biddies. 30, 40, 50,
and of course, the reason all that's fun because we were talking about how, say it was more or less potentially depending on, if they see what happens.
Yeah. I kind of want, I kind of want it to be a Steam box just because I want to be able to play PC games, but in a console way. And but none of the Steam boxes like, intrigue me. Like I can't play PUBG on the Steam boxes, but I mean I'm gonna be able to play PUBG on the Xbox, for Christmas anyways. But that's what I'm saying. Like I want to be able to play H1Z1 on the Steam box. You know what I mean? And I want it to be a Steam box, but I know if it did become a Steam box, it would literally kill it, and then it really wouldn't be a Sega no more. So I'm just, my thing is like I'm just curious what games like Sega's gonna come out with for it, because that's
Yeah.
gonna make it or break it. Yes, having a Sonic game's cool. That's you can't have a Nintendo system without Mario. Get it, but you gotta think out the box, Sega. You can't just be living in the past. Now it is time for you to come out with an IP, an awesome IP. Maybe come out with your own Battle Royale IP that's amazing. That's a game changer. I don't know. Maybe come out with something completely out of the box that we haven't even heard of yet. I don't know. What? So here's this. So what are some IPs or what are some games that you would like to see come out of this Sega Spartan? OG.
So if Spartan does, become a thing with Sega, I mean, I see no problem, with them doing a Sonic thing because that has been kind of their thing. But like you said, they need to come up with something brand new, something fresh, that like maybe a new kind of a mascot, if you will.
Right.
Because on Nintendo they have both, Mario and Link. Well, Sega can have Sonic and somebody else. So they can have like a new platformer that could be something different than what we've ever experienced. They can come up with some ideas. Um, Also, Sega can also do well in RPGs too, because even though everyone's used to playing Final Fantasies and stuff like that on Nintendo back in the day, Sega also was into RPGs too, and they were the ones that actually got me into strategy RPGs.
Mm.
So they can make a pretty legitimate, strategy RPG that might have some pretty cool cinematic graphics when you attack and things like that. Like try to compete with Nintendo's Fire Emblem, because like I said, Sega has their own strategy RPG series that came out before Nintendo even thought of it. So, I mean, I really think that Sega could come up with some good ideas as far as a new mascot, a new strategy RPG, and I mean, I don't know, so to speak, if they need to really get too hardcore into shooters, but I mean, you can have a shooting title.
Sega's never
Maybe
really
that's
had
where
a
their new
shooter.
mascot could be.
Sega never really had a shooter, if you think
So there
about
you
it.
go.
They
Sega could actually invest in their new mascot being in the shooter game.
they
That
never
could be a
they
thing.
they, they Sega has never adventured in the multiplayer shooter genre. Fact check. There's speculation. There's speculation. They said it could be released by Christmas. Even Xbox has said that. Because they said that PUBG is gonna come out quicker on the Xbox because it's gonna be on the Xbox early release program. So yeah, so and everybody keeps saying around Christmas time, so I'm just speaking that into existence. Christmas time. I'm hoping so. But it's looking at a good chance that it will be Christmas time. They haven't like specifically said Christmas time, but it's looking that way. To answer that question, yeah, I would like to see them venture in the first person shooter. They were also, you got to remember, Sega was also a good. They also had good fighting games back in the day. Not saying that that there's not good fighting games, but Sega was where it was at during the fighting games back in the day. Besides Street Fighter, but Virtual Fighter was a good game.
Hmm.
Don't now. Here's my question. Do they leave the licenses alone that they got rid of and they gave to other people rights to, or do they take ownership back of those licenses? Because remember, right now, I believe Nintendo owns Sonic or have the rights to
Okay.
Sonic. Remember, because Nintendo's made that Mario and Sonic game for the
Mm-hmm.
Wii. You know, also Xbox. I believe Xbox owns the rights to Virtual Fighters, and other stuff like that. So do they pull back, or do they say? I believe they're gonna pull back with Sonic because, like I said, the developers of the Spartan have already made a Sonic game. Like it's already made, it's already done, and it's in 4K. So I believe they would get Sonic back, but do they get the other IPs back? Do they get the other licenses back, or do they just like let it go?
I
And
say let it go and just do new things.
yeah,
Make your own new brand, basically, like the Return of Sega with Boom, all this new stuff, new characters, new content. I think that they should just start fresh if they're gonna go into this market. Again, there's a chance that they could still say no. This has not been confirmed that this really is going to happen, but there are strong possibilities because of the support that the Spartan is getting, and as far as like the people that are signing for Sega to come back. So I mean, it's a possible thing, but let's not jump the gun yet. I mean, let's wait and
definitely,
see what happens.
definitely. And then the next question I'm gonna ask you is, what would you like to see integrated in the console, or what would you like to not see integrated into the console, like the hardware, or so to speak, itself?
Well, I mean, they've already more or less spoiled what they're going to do with the console as
But,
far as like the processor and things like that.
but,
But they have
but,
time to make
I was
changes.
gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say, once Sega puts its hand on it, Sega can change something and add something. So, what would you want to see Sega add or delete from the console?
Well, assuming that they're going to be, going into multiplayer, I mean, I think that, one, they're going to want to make sure that they have stuff that makes it easy to stream because streaming is a thing,
Right.
you know.
Agreed.
Because I mean, I know that they have good processors and stuff, but I mean, as far as software is concerned, I think that maybe there might be some good streaming apps that can be built into the system to help you stream easy
Right.
or without having to add additional parts or whatnot. So I think some kind of a stream thing inside the console would be good. I mean, it's obviously going to have online capabilities, so I
Obviously.
don't think I really need to even
Yeah.
mention that, to be honest, that's going to be a thing. I mean, heck, the Sega Dreamcast was technically an online thing. So,
The 64
uh,
was too. Oh.
yeah, the 64 was too, even though it wasn't really huge here, but it was a thing
In Japan.
um, in Japan, yeah. But I think that so basically catering the stream, like make it maybe like the gaming streaming console, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
really focus on the aspect of like making videos, sharing with your friends, or posting on Twitch or posting on YouTube. Just kind of be that one, thing that can cater to anyone that likes to make videos. You know
And
what I mean?
and let me reiterate what OG is saying, because we both know the Xbox and the PlayStation could do that, but it just seems unfinished. Um,
Right. They could perfect it,
they could
basically.
perfect it. Like I would like to see. I would like it, like you said. I would like to see that, but I also would like to see it like have its own video editing software built into it, to where I
Hmm.
can not only like make my clips like you can do on the Xbox and everything, but like actually make a full video. And I'm not talking like a 10-minute video. Like I want to be able to make a full YouTube video from my machine, with
Hmm.
transitions, everything. I want to be able to, if I'm gonna stream on Twitch, I want to be able to have my overlay, and all my alerts to where I don't even have to have my PC. You know what? Like something like that. I want to see something that's um, more like hardcore for streaming, intuitive for streaming, because it
And not
seems
even just streaming, really, even just for video editing in general. Like for
right,
people like me who are more of into YouTube doing like post video content.
right,
I mean, just having a good video or game editing software after, like basically after you've played the game and recorded it, you can in the game make adjustments, cut this, add that, and then boom, post to YouTube. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, it didn't have to be necessarily just for streaming, or just for anybody that does videos in general.
Right, right. And the Xbox and the PlayStation do it, but there's so many like limitations. Like you get so much, and then you get so far, and then you want to do this, and then you're like, oh, I can't do that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like I want it to be like where there's like no limitations to what I can do. I can pretty much make the same video that I could make on the PC, but on my Sega Spartan, you know. And you know, I think that would I'm like 100% with you on that. I think that would be amazing. I think that would be awesome. Um, you know, Spartan be like the content creator of
Yeah.
things, and then you know, hmm, I they need they need to get rid of that controller before launch. That's the
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They really need to redo the controller. I definitely agree with that. I don't like the controller. It's a little bit too old school for my taste, which is weird. It's not even really old school because even the old school controllers like Nintendo and Super and Sega had like controls that were not as bulky either. This is just too much. Like your hands are going to be a little more spread than they need to be. It needs to be a little smaller, I think.
And for those that are wanting some more specs, it's going to have, I think they said like 16 gig. It's going to have 16 gigs of RAM. It's going to have 4K capability. It's going to have, I think they said like a 1070 or 1080 graphics card in there.
If I forgot the specs, to be honest.
But it's going to be like the laptop version, so it fits. And then it's going to have a 1 terabyte hard drive,
Yep.
stuff like that, and then the HDMI and stuff like that. So pretty standard stuff when it comes. But they say it's gonna surpass the Xbox One X when it comes to graphics. That I could care less. I want to know all I could do with it. I want to know the bells and whistles that will help me either be more intuitive with my streaming or creating or just being a good gamer, so to speak. I would like to see. I would like to see better servers across the board as far as, like, what's like giving the online content, because let's face it, it just seems like console gaming when it comes to like online and like frames per second, it just seems like behind. You know what I mean? Like for instance,
Mm.
I play because Fortnite is crossplay with PC and PS4, so I can like legitimately play with somebody on PC and while I'm on my PS4 at the same time with
Hmm.
Fortnite. So I'm legitimately seeing things at like 30 or 40 frames per second, and they're seeing things at 120 or 112 frames per second. So they have a faster response time than I do, automatically. Um, so I would like to see that different, because I mean, let's face it. I mean, it's competitive gaming. Why should I be punished because I prefer a console over a PC? And when it comes to frames per second, as far as like reaction time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the main reason why a lot of people go to PC over PlayStation or Xbox, is being not necessarily mainly for the graphics, but because of the frame rate when it comes to first person shooters. Because when it comes to first person shooters, the more FPS you have, the more likely you're gonna shoot and kill your target.
Hmm.
So, that's my thing on it. Other than that, I think I'm good. But
Yeah, I mean, and they don't necessarily have to focus, too much as far as like online play in general, in terms of like maybe they want to stay away from potentially, having server issues as far as having like those crazy games, so they can make just games that maybe have only like a certain amount of people that can be in certain scenarios where they don't have that lag problem, instead of having games where there's like hundreds of people and servers lagging because it's hard to keep up. I mean, there's the kind of thing where they're saying you can do a less is more kind of a thing. I
yeah,
guess is what I'm getting at, to make it to where nothing too big. They don't have to be like Microsoft and Sony as far as the multiplayer, but they can be good enough to where there's no lag,
mm,
so that people could be like, oh wow, this new system is pretty cool. I'm playing these games with my friends and I'm not having much lag. And I don't even think about the fact that, there's not as many people playing. They just think about the fact that they can play the game smoothly. And I think that's where the good sell can be.
Oh, I just came up with a theory craft idea, like theory craft. Like I already know this is not gonna happen, but this is just something that would like blow a lot of things out of the water. What if Sega? What was that game we were talking about? Etopia, right, or whatever?
Oh, Entropia, yeah.
Entropia. What if Sega bought Etropia, got into the VR scene because you can easily do this. It's 4K capability. Got into the VR scene and like they released this as they're the hardcore VR console, and you buy the console and you get Etropia free, and that would be freaking crazy. That would be nuts.
It's possible. I don't see it happening either because I don't really think they're gonna go really too hard
Yeah, that's why I
into.
said it was a big theory craft. But I
Yeah,
I don't think Sega has the money, to be honest. I don't.
yeah. I don't know if they want to go that hard. No.
Yeah, I don't. But I do think that it will be VR capable. I don't see why it wouldn't. Um, Not that I would like it to be. Not that I would want it to be. I mean, my PlayStation's VR capable, and I don't use it, the VR stuff. But I think that a lot of people that if they didn't make it VR capable would be raging and be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And they would use it to try to stab Sega. So I think on the safe side, they should just make it VR capable, but make it where like they don't have to use VR. I mean, kind of like with the PlayStation. I mean, shoot.
Well, I don't know if they even need to do that. I honestly believe that they could just stick with a certain model, not try to be like everybody else, but still be better than everybody else, so to speak. Because think of it this way: I mean, Nintendo's not doing all the things that Sony and Microsoft were doing, but they're still strong. Sega could probably do the same thing or something better. They don't have to do everything that the other consoles are doing. They really don't.
Well, let me um rephrase something real quick. Hold on. Right now, PlayStation is the only one that's doing VR in the console. Xbox has the capabilities, but they have yet to release it. They have not released their. They have not released their the VR technology. They have not released the what they call it. They call it the Halo lens. They have not released it yet. So the only one on the market right now that you can play VR today in your home is either with
Sony.
is Sony with your console is Sony. Other than that, it's just your PC. But yeah, the only console that you can buy a VR headset for and play VR with the console right now is Sony. So that's where Sony has the edge. I don't know why Xbox hasn't released it. Maybe they're waiting for the One X, apparently. But I mean, whatever.
Well, I think it's smart not to rush into it because if you rush into it just because someone beat you to it, then you're just going to be sloppy and half-assed, and you don't want that to happen.
No.
Let yours develop in the time that it's supposed to develop, so that when it does come out, it could be better. Because it is better to kind of come out second and then end up being better than the first thing sometimes. And this is something that may benefit Microsoft. Who knows?
It might. It might, man. But I don't know about you, but that was all I had to talk about. If you have anything more to talk about, you can go ahead and go now.
I think we're good. We're gonna go ahead and end the video here. So everybody, thank you for watching the OG podcast, as I've been corrected, and just continue to watch Handy Kill Cam's videos on Twitch, and plus he's still doing the WWE thing on YouTube, which is a great thing. Keep on watching it. And eventually we'll be doing some pay-per-views in the future. So
Wait. Let's talk about that for a second. So those that don't know, remember, we talked about we were gonna doing the if everybody's a sub, anybody that's a sub to my channel, you're automatically getting created in the game, whether you like it or not, whether you send me a face or not, you're getting created in the game. And when we do sub giveaways, at the end of the month, which I'll announce when we start doing it, because I gotta create everybody, and I gotta see who subs and who resubs. before I start creating everybody, because I don't want to create somebody in the middle and then they unsub and then I'm like, well, I have to delete that person. I'd rather create somebody that I know is it's resubbed and staying. So, but anyway, so basically what it's gonna be is that at the end of the month, whatever month I decide, we'll be doing a giveaway, and you guys will either be doing a battle royale, a Royal Rumble, or something to that matter. Maybe we'll even do a King of the Ring tournament, depending on how many people are entered in the giveaway, and whoever wins the giveaway. But here's the kicker. Yo, thank you, Rhino Mutt for that host. I don't know why my hosting thing is not going off. I really don't know why. Anyway, so here's the idea me and OG came up with. OG is going, well, actually, my wife came up with the first part of the idea. She said you should have OG be the second commentator during the pay-per-view. Because we're going to do this like a real pay-per-view. We'll be doing this on Sundays. I think we said we were going to be doing this an hour before the actual pay-per-view, or a couple hours before the actual pay-per-view.
Yeah, like a few hours before the actual pay per view, just so that we don't step on like the actual WWE's toes, so that people can watch their stuff if you're really into wrestling after watching our stuff. We'll be kind of like the pregame show.
Right. We'll be the pregame show. Maybe to fill up the card, maybe we'll do some of the matches. You know what I mean? But so how we're gonna do it is OG is actually going to be coming over to my house, and we're going to be doing this live at my house. And so he's going to have a mic, I'm going to have a mic, and he's going to be watching it live with me, and we're going to be doing live commentating. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. We may even play against each other. I don't know. I was thinking about that. Say for instance, if it's like I don't know, John Cena versus Roman Reigns, maybe we can imitate that match and then be me versus you. And then, we'll figure out something, but, for the sub giveaway for you subs, we're not going to be creating we're not going to be controlling any of the subs. The computer's going to be controlling you guys, and whoever wins. Do it
just to make it fair, yeah.
He said, do it like the day before, he said, DB said, do it the day before and do the giveaway for the actual pay-per-view event. That could be interesting, but a lot of people are not into WWE pay-per-view, and a lot of people don't watch pay-per-view. In fact, a lot of my viewers don't watch pay-per-view, and the people that do watch pay-per-view and watch WWE already have the what you call it? What's that thing that's $9.99?
WWE, yep.
WWE Network. There you go.
Network, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought about that. So a lot of people are intrigued in me doing the Rogue Energy giveaway. In fact, what I've decided to do is first place is going to get a tub of Rogue Energy. Second place will get a shaker from Rogue Energy, and third place will get a sample pack. So you'll have a first place winner, second place winner, and third place winner. So basically what's going to happen is if it's a Royal Rumble, the third to last person is third place, second to last person is second place, and then first place would be your first place winner, of course. And that's what we're going to do. I also thought about doing eventually doing a giveaway of World War II, because I know a lot of my subs, they wanted World War II, or they were getting World War II, and they've had to retrack their they've had to retrack their pre-order, and because of financial stuff, but they're still sub to me. So it's like, man, maybe I should do a giveaway of World War II to say thank you. So I've thought about that too. So I've pretty much got the first two giveaways I'm probably going to give away. I just need to create everybody and make sure that who's resubbing and who's not, because the people that I started creating this week, one person actually didn't resub. So So I'm just waiting a little bit before I start creating because I don't want to create another person and then they unsub. So we'll see how that goes, but be on the lookout. It'll probably either be next month or the week after. What do you say, OG? Is that good with you?
Yeah, either the next month or the month after, just depending on how long it takes to create the characters. That's perfectly fine. Again, like I say, if we need to wait a little bit to make sure the subs are a sub, that's good. So
Yeah,
we'll look into this.
and
Maybe
then
maybe like December ish, possibly. We'll see.
yeah, and then what will happen is those that do unsub, I won't delete you. I'll just put you on the inactive roster.
There you
There
go.
is an inactive roster, and I'll try not to show that inactive roster because I am a firm believer of not bashing somebody or making somebody feel bad for not subbing. I think that's very disrespectful as a
Yeah.
streamer, and unfortunately, I do not respect anyone that does that. That makes somebody feel bad for unsubbing to somebody. I feel like that's a form of bullying, in a sense, because what ends up happening is when you announce that person is an unsub and you make them feel bad, all the other chatters jump in and be like, "Oh, you unsubbed to so and so? That's messed up." Blah blah blah, and then it starts a big unfollow train, and it's very disrespectful, in my opinion. So
Right.
I try to keep that as private as much as possible. Now, if that a person announces it in chat, then that's on them. Uh,
Right.
you know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead and finish taking us out, man. But I just wanted
All
to
right.
take
Well, no problem. So again, keep on watching Handy Killcon both on YouTube and Twitch, and of course, look at OG Crunkster on YouTube because I will be doing usually at least one video a week, sometimes two, and either on a Sunday or a Monday, depending on what's going on in that weekend. So just keep on the lookout for that. And then, of course, we'll see you guys next week, 10 a.m. Central, and also Able Gamers for Thursday for Handy Kill Cam. Don't forget that as well.
yes, yes,
So have
yes.
fun
Have
and keep
fun.
gaming on.
All right, and we are out. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.